You know, we hear a lot these days about what divides us as a country, as a community, as neighbors, even as families. But one best-selling author is on a mission to find out what connects us, and he's going about it by breaking maybe the one rule your mom drilled into your head as a teenager, that is, you don't give rides to strangers. He is picking up hitchhikers and listening to their stories. Take a look.
Like I was saying before, you know, see people drive by me with Christmas trees stacked to the top of their vehicle. They don't realize the idea of how nice it is to have a home that you can go put that Christmas tree in.
The man behind the wheel and the project is author Jason Wright. You know him from the popular books Wednesday Letters and Christmas Jars. Jason's hashtag Giving a Lift project may be breaking mom's rules, but it's breaking open hearts too. Author Jason Wright is joining me. My friend, welcome back to the show. It's been a while.
Good to be back. Thank you.
It's great to have you, and I am just fascinated with this project. What gave you the idea to do this in the first place?
About a year and a half ago, I was rolling down the road in Virginia on a little small highway, and I ran into a couple that was hitchhiking from one side of the country to the other, and I gave them a ride. And about 10 minutes into the ride, I was just so fascinated by their story and how different they were from me, but how much we had in common. And I said, could we just pull over and set up my phone? I had one of my daughter's little hair scrunchies, so I just attached the phone to the rearview mirror and said, could we just film this for a while and just kind of see what happens? And oh my goodness, I fell in love with them over the course of about a half hour, this young couple.
Now back up a bit. Prior to this campaign, this social media movement, is this something you did often? Stop by and give a lift, give a hand?
Yeah, and my mom doesn't love it, nor does my wife for that matter.
Sure.
But yeah, I learned it from my dad. I've always been pretty comfortable. I sort of follow my gut and listen to my instincts that say whether it's a safe situation or not. There have been a few people that I've said no to, that I've given a few dollars and passed because
just
something
based on
didn't
that
feel
feeling?
right.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
You kind of have to trust it. But yeah, for years I've given rides. I felt comfortable doing it, and then I just started filming them and saying, you know what, if I'm learning from these people, if I'm growing from these experiences, let's see if the world can grow too.
Have you kept this close to home? Where have you been? Where has this project taken you?
Anywhere I go in the country, I try to film at least one, including several right here in Salt Lake, and they have actually probably been the most memorable.
Speaking of the Salt Lake one, we have a clip. You met a man named Tino, right?
Love that guy, yeah.
Let's listen into your conversation.
What are you going to do for work next?
Security. I'm going to go back to Colorado. I was doing nightclub security for a while, but I got diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, so I've lost a lot of weight, so I'm just going to go back to doing event stuff. I mean, people laugh, but it's true. You got to have, for people to listen to you in like a bar or a nightclub environment, you got to have some.
I mean, like, I'd be great at it,
size,
right?
Man.
I mean, I would be, oh, come on! I'd be...
You're not having fun with this at all, are you?
I love that guy. That was 5 minutes after we met, and we just hit it off. And I learned so much from that guy about persevering through everything life can throw at you. Pretty neat guy.
Do you find, Jason, people are hesitant when you ask them if you can record the conversation, or are they really anxious to have their story come out?
Absolutely the latter. They want to share their story.
Yeah.
Everyone has a story to tell. It's a unique opportunity for them to share their story with the world. I've had a couple people say, no thanks, could I still get a ride? And I say, absolutely, where do you need to go? And we don't film it. But yeah, for the most part, people feel like they have something in them that's of value to the world, just a peek into what it's like to hitchhike or to be homeless, and they're grateful for the chance to share it.
I have a feeling there have been some profound lessons. I want to ask you about that first. Let's watch one more clip if we can.
I'll be completely honest. When you came up to the window, when I pulled over, and you looked in the window and smiled, I thought to myself, this is a happy young lady.
I'm glad, because it's true.
I did. The smile in the eyes in both of you tell me that you know who you are, and you're at peace with that.
Yeah, totally. Happy to get a ride, too. Thanks. That always brings a smile.
I'm happy to give it.
Heck yeah.
You know why this is so meaningful, I think, is because, one, you're a people person. You are a natural, you're one of those people that can naturally and easily connect with others, even strangers, as we're seeing. But you can tell this comes from your heart. This is sincere.
It absolutely does. And I love that couple. I wish I could find them again. I met them in Virginia, but she's actually from Salt Lake City. She grew up here, and she just felt this desire to wander and to see the rest of the world. So she stuck her thumb out and began hitchhiking from one side of America to the other. She's been doing this for 3 or 4 years. And I just fell in love with them and their energy and their creativity. And most people drive right by them. And frankly, I would have driven right by them for most of my life. I'm so grateful that I stopped, that I began to stop, and to see people, I think, the way heaven wants us to see them.
So you feel like you're almost borrowing God's eyes
Absolutely.
in the moment. What else are you learning from this?
Oh, we're all so much more alike than we think. You know, she's got piercings and tattoos, and sometimes they don't necessarily smell quite like I do. And my car smells a little different when they get out of it at the end of our half hour together. But inside, we all just want to be loved. We want to be seen. We want someone to recognize divine value in us. Maybe that's the most important lesson. It doesn't matter what you look like. And it's good that we're different. Diversity is a beautiful thing in this world. But on the inside, we're not that diverse. God loves us, He knows us, and He wants us to love one another.
I think it's a huge lesson that society at large needs to learn right now. We've got another clip from a man named David. Let's take a peek.
I figured out something too about miracles. And a lot of people think a miracle's a big bolt of lightning out in the sky, that, you know, something that happens that everybody's going to notice, right? No, it don't work like that. If you ain't watching, you'll see a miracle and it'll just, you won't even think nothing about it.
I want to meet him.
He's amazing. I have to tell you, I met that guy in Virginia, and then about 2.5 years later, I saw him again at the same overpass on the interstate about a half an hour from where I live. And I pulled over and I gave him a hug and I said, "Where are we going today?" And we spent a couple of hours together. I shot a couple hours of video. That's just a little piece of it. You can watch the rest of it on Facebook if you want to look it up on my Facebook page. But that guy is so warm and so kind and so loving. He's been traveling. He's not really homeless. He's just been traveling the country for years, meeting people and growing. That's his mission, is what can I learn from you? And of course, he gets out of the car and he says, "Thank you so much, Jason. I learned so much." And I'm like, come on, really? I'm the one that's grown from this experience.
Well, that topic we heard was miracles. Any other surprising topics that come up, deep topics in these casual conversations and car rides?
You know, I think one of the most interesting topics is how often people say, "You know, you probably think I have a drug problem or an alcohol problem or some other addiction." Often they really don't. They just, I met a guy that had a master's degree, had been fired from the federal government, became really depressed, and now suddenly he's homeless because he doesn't have a paycheck. He doesn't have a drinking problem. He doesn't have a drug problem at all. He has a depression problem. And I think that's different than most people think as they drive down the streets in Salt Lake City, where homelessness is such an important issue right now, where the city is really devoting some resources to it.
Right.
You look out the window and you assume one thing, and quite often it's the other. It's just, they need a friend. They need someone to just listen for a minute.
I love what you're doing. Thank you for stopping by to share. And of course, your book, The Christmas Jars. We know and love you for that project as well. And that's continued to just take over people's hearts.
A new edition out this year that has in the back of the book 30 of my all-time favorite true stories that have come in, including some from Utah. You can check that out. I also have a brand new book called Picturing Christmas, a little paperback that's out this year that I co-wrote with my brother, which is pretty cool. I've never written with anyone else before.
Fantastic. What's your website so we can catch up on all of these projects?
JasonFWright.com.
We will link you over from our website. You're doing great work, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.